Welcome back to the Cave of Wonders, Dreamwalkers. I am your Sith Lord Callous, and this is the Rancor Report, where we bring you what's trending in pop culture, gaming and Star Wars news, reviews, theories, and clues. This month of April has been chock full of goodness, and it's not even half over. We've got trailers galore, Star Wars Celebration happening this weekend. If you're into music, we have Coachella also going on, but arguably the two most important, the most epic pieces of entertainment to come out of the month of April 2019 will be the Avengers Endgame, dropping April 26th, and the start of the Game of Thrones Season 8, premiering Sunday, April 14th at 9 p.m. on HBO. Now, a few weeks ago, Comic Book Now put a poll on Twitter asking the question, if you could only choose one to see, between Endgame or the Game of Thrones finale, which would it be? And to answer that question, I have to consider what I'm hoping to get out of both viewings. So let's take a look at Endgame first. What are my expectations from Endgame? Well, first, Captain Marvel. What role will she play in the success of the Avengers? When will she be introduced to the audience? And in what capacity will she be introduced to the Avengers? I'm one that liked the Captain Marvel movie, so I welcome her addition to the cast as long as it all makes sense. Next, I want to know what the hell Black Widow meant in this latest clip when she said Thanos used the stones again. Is that individually, or has he now wiped out another half of all existing life in the universe? And if that's the case, how did these particular Avengers get spared twice now? And lastly, all my MMO fans will understand when I say, did anyone suffer permadeath? Because let's face it, when Doctor Strange told Tony there was one scenario where the Avengers were actually victorious and then willingly gave up the Time Stone to spare Tony's life, after making it clear in New York that he would never do that, Tony is clearly the catalyst for this one victorious scenario. But who else survives? And those are the questions I have for Endgame. Now, as for Game of Thrones, I don't even know where to begin. The obvious question is ultimately, who will sit on the Iron Throne? But before we get there, I need to know if Daenerys' dragons are okay. Do they survive? I want to know what happens with Daenerys and Jon. I need to know that my girl Arya is doing alright, and does she get to Cersei? Is Tyrion's loyalty going to sway to the side of Cersei, since he is, of course, a Lannister? Who is the damn White Walker King? Are the Sands going to escape from Cersei's dungeon, and will we know their fate? Does the Hound kill the Mountain? Does Jaime get with Brienne of Tarth? Do they survive? Does Sansa remain the Lady of Winterfell? And if so, does she support Jon now that he's a Targaryen? Have the wildlings now been officially accepted into Westeros? You see, there are far too many questions that have gone unanswered. Far too many questions for me to even keep going. And that's why my vote goes to the Game of Thrones. There are too many unanswered questions and possible outcomes. This is a series that is known for killing off main characters, both expected and unexpectedly. They have twists and turns at every corner, while the end game will be more predictable, at least in my opinion. So I have to choose just one. It's the Game of Thrones finale. But luckily I don't. And the Game of Thrones begins this Sunday, while Endgame launches on April 26th. I'll be tuning into both, and I hope you will too. Let me know what you think in the comments, Game of Thrones or Endgame, and why. Listen, I do what I love, and I hope you love what I do. This has been the Rancor Report. Until next time.
This party's over.